Hello and welcome to day 2. In yesterday's video, we broke down how the workout outline is going to look for the next 6 weeks. So in today's video, we're going to cover some basics on the nutrition plan. A little bit later after that, we're going to go into some Q&A answers that I got on my Instagram. So I'll answer some of your questions more in depth with that. But let's dive into the nutrition to start. If you've downloaded the 6-week blueprint to living art, then you should have the nutrition overview guide on the homepage of that course. So when you go to that, it will give you a PDF as well as several other documents which will help you calculate out your macronutrients, calorie needs, how to make adjustments throughout the trainer to continue to progress, as well as my sample meal plan and a sample shopping list to help make this as easy as possible for you over the next 6 weeks. Everything is laid out fairly detailed in there, but if you do have any questions, you can feel free to leave a comment down below or reach out to me anytime via my email, and I would be happy to help you make those calculations and figure out your exact calorie and macronutrient needs for the next 6 weeks. This also ties into the supplementation part of this trainer, which is included in the supplementation overview on the course homepage. So make sure you check that out as well. It will detail the supplements I'm going to be using over the next 6 weeks and give you some recommendations of any potential add-ons as we start to get further along in this program. Similarly to the blueprint to muscle, this is going to be somewhat of an old school, down to the basics trainer, focusing on those golden era and silver era aesthetics, proportions, and building and sculpting perfect muscle tissue. And that translates over into the nutrition plan as well. Rather than relying too much on fancy supplementation or a bunch of loaded with too many ingredient foods, we are focusing on whole natural food sources as is laid out in the PDF, explaining what foods that you can pick from in order to get your protein, carbohydrates, and fat requirements through this trainer. Regarding meal timing, that is completely up to you. However, I would recommend eating no less than 3 meals a day and no more than 6 meals a day spread out among your calorie needs. I would also recommend not waiting more than 5 hours in between meals so that we're evenly spacing the meals throughout the day and evenly getting that protein synthesis spike throughout the day. For example, if you're eating 3 meals a day, you may pair them up about 5 hours apart. If you're eating 4 meals a day, maybe 4 hours apart. 5 meals a day, 3 hours apart. 6 meals a day, 2 to 3 hours apart, depending on your schedule. That is all up to you. Just make sure you are sticking to those calorie and macronutrient requirements in order to achieve the optimal results. And as the next 6 weeks go along, I will be breaking down exactly how to make adjustments if you ever hit a plateau so that you can continue to progress the entire time. And I know I say it all the time, but seriously, take advantage of it. If you do have any questions or get confused by anything, after downloading the 6-week blueprint to living art, reach out to me. I would be happy to help. All right, so that pretty much breaks down the nutrition and supplementation. Everything else should be included in the nutrition overview and supplementation overview included in the homepage of this course. So let's get into some of your Q&A questions. This question always confuses me a little bit when I get it in my What Does the Fox Say Q&A that I do on my Instagram channel, because I get it all the time. And I have no problem answering here in this video, as I did say I would take measurements at the end of the blueprint to muscle. So I will give you those. However, it does make me wonder why people are always asking for my particular stats and measurements rather than asking questions that could get valuable information for themselves to be able to take and better themselves and train, rather than just wondering what I do. But since I did say I would give measurements, I'm going to put them up here and you can check them out. And you can pause this video because I'm going to be done with this screen in 3, 2, 1. This is a great question, and yes, they have over the years. So, when I first started out, I relied a lot on copying the pros workouts, which honestly probably weren't even the pros workouts that I found in magazines that I would get with my protein powder. And while I was able to develop a great base with those, I relied a lot on my favorite exercises being the ones that were listed as the best must do exercises for certain muscle groups. Over the years, I've adapted more towards exercises that I personally am able to get a perfect mind to muscle connection with and was able to progressively overload at a quick rate with. And that is what brought me so much progress. So while it is good to experiment and try out a variety of exercises, including the ones promised to be the best must do exercises, it's up to you to find the ones that fit best with your body and that you're able to make the best connection with, and to practice and perfect those and make those your favorite exercises. Just for an example, everybody says squats are the king of leg exercises, and I do enjoy squats. However, for me, I get much better results in my legs by focusing on single leg press, leg curl movements, and single leg extensions, and focusing on progressively overloading on that. As far as squats go, they are a great mass builder, but I personally prefer Smith squats or belt squats as it puts less pressure on my lower back as a taller individual, and I've found better results with building my legs. I don't really take pre-workout anymore. I'll just mix some creatine in with my water and drink that throughout my workout, kind of as an intra slash post workout. Back when I did take pre workout, I really enjoyed Gorilla Mode, I believe it's called. That was my favorite pre workout. Or I would make my own pre workout where I would just buy bulk creatine, bulk citrulline for the pump, and then use some sort of like amino energy type product, an amino acid for flavor and a little bit of caffeine. And I would mix all those up. I could dose it as high and effectively as what worked for me. Put in a little bit of salt in there as well for an extra pump and muscle contractions, and that was the way to go. But it has been a little bit since I've done any sort of pre workout, as I have been focusing on these old school muscle building trainers. My favorite shoulder exercises are some that I do have included in any of my workout trainers, so you can check them out. But I will give you one of my favorites for each of the three muscle heads, the anterior or front, the lateral or side, and the posterior or rear deltoid. So for the front, I really like any sort of heavy progressive overloading shoulder press movement. For me personally, I've been really enjoying the behind the neck barbell press or dumbbell presses, like seated shoulder presses with the dumbbells. For the side laterals, I really like single arm side lateral with the machine. And for the rear deltoids, I really like the reverse pec deck machine. All of these exercises are done very slow and controlled with an emphasis on the mind to muscle connection and contraction that I can get targeted in that specific head of the shoulder that I'm looking to train. You can find the exact formula for all of the macronutrients that I use and that you will use to make a dramatic and incredible transformation in the nutrition overview that we just covered a little bit earlier of the 6-week blueprint to living art. For me personally, I recommend getting at least 1 gram per pound of body weight if your goal is bodybuilding. So for me, I like to aim on the slightly higher side just to be safe and make sure I get that. So currently, I'm eating around 275 grams of protein a day. We will cover this a little bit more in a full day of eating video further along in this trainer. Yes, I do, though rarely and honestly probably not as often as I should. I'm not the kind of person who can really half-ass a workout and just go in and do a deload where I do way less volume or way less weight. So I will typically take 5 to 7 days off completely from the gym if I need a deload and I just feel like my body is exhausted, my joints are tired, and I just really need to give my body that extra recovery and rest before starting a new routine. So this was what we did after the 12-week blueprint to muscle because we had 12 weeks of intense heavy progressive overload constantly, and we were moving into another round of intense workouts for the next 6 weeks. So I wanted to give my body that little bit of a break And I recommended that at the end of the Blueprint to Muscle as well, so that you're refreshed and ready to go for the next 6 weeks with the Blueprint to Living Art. This is a great question and something that has a lot of answers to, but I'll touch on a few things that I have found to be very important when it comes to competition. So first of all, congratulations on making the commitment to do this. It is a very difficult journey, but you will learn a lot about yourself, and it is very, very fun process, at least for me, and I love the challenge of it, and I hope you do as well. Firstly, make sure you do your research. If you're going to be prepping yourself, which I'm not sure if you are, then make sure you do as much research as possible and have a good understanding of what works well for your body, what you're able to stick to, how your body reacts to certain training stimulus, to cardio, and to certain diet regimens. If you want to be on the safe side, find a knowledgeable coach who knows what they're talking about and has experience getting good results with clients, and work with them for your first competition or two so you can really learn your body and learn about the whole prep process. Then if you want to branch out and prep yourself in later competitions, you can. Or if you want to stick with that coach and see how far you can go, that's another great option as well. Another piece of advice that I can offer with this is to make sure that you focus on getting conditioned. I see so many new athletes at the first time of the competition stepping on stage, and they have no idea what they're really getting themselves into. They look great at the gym, they're lean, they can see some cuts, they have a good pump with their tank top and the good gym lighting, so they think they're in shape and are going to do great at their first competition. But when they step under those stage lights, everybody can see that they really have at least 10 pounds or so of body fat and water to lose before they're truly in stage condition. Don't worry so much about muscle. If you have that, you have it. Make sure you maintain it throughout the prep, perhaps put on a little bit, but focus on conditioning and stripping off as much body fat as possible, and that will give you the best, most eye-catching physique on stage that you can achieve. There's a lot of other tips and tricks that I've learned over the years, so if you are interested in going into more detail or working with me, you can feel free to reach out to me as well, and I would be happy to give a consultation with you or work with you in coaching to help you for your first competition. Anyway, best of luck. It's an awesome journey. If you have to talk yourself into getting motivated, then you haven't found your why. You don't really know why you want to do this, or if you even do for sure want to do this. You have to find the reason and something that you enjoy as far as the exercise or workout aspect. I don't even need to get myself motivated or pumped up to go to the gym because I love it. I know my why. Every single time I step in the gym, I'm constantly progressing. I'm constantly making myself a better bodybuilder, a fitter, stronger, healthier person, and I love that challenge and I love that drive. Now, that might not be everybody's goal, but you have to find your goal. You have to find your why and let that be your motivation. If you find yourself having to argue with yourself for an hour and talk yourself into getting into exercise, then that means either you haven't found the right exercise for you that you enjoy, or you haven't found your reason why and you don't truly want it. You have to want it, like you want to breathe. If all the oxygen floods out of the room of the house, you are going to find a way to claw yourself out of that room and get some oxygen. You need to have that true want and desire for results, and that will be your motivation to get you into the gym. This is such a big question, so I'll just give the brief answer. My ultimate goal is to be able to travel around the world while doing what I love, helping as many people as I can, continuing to make content for everybody that helps people, continuing to grow my business, and continuing to grow myself and improve myself as a better bodybuilder and a better human. So that kind of summarizes up everything. That's a very, very, very vague answer. But those are my main goals: to be able to travel, build my business, help as many people as possible, and then just be as amazing of a man as I can for my wife, for my future family, and for anyone who meets me. Thank you so much for all the questions that you put in. I hope you learned something. If you do have any questions, then make sure you check out my Instagram page. I do about once a week do a What Does the Fox Say Q&A where you can put in your questions and I will get to them. Or you can always leave a comment down below and I will get to it that way. But in the meantime, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Today is day number 2 of the trainer, so get that workout in and I will see you tomorrow. It is our first recovery and grow day of this trainer, and we'll break down a little bit more in detail what a grow day looks like for the next 6 weeks. So have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, I will see you in the next video.